Should you get the SNES Classic? That depends on what kind of person you are. Here's our hands-on review. The Classic has 21 fantastic games baked right in. It comes with 2 controllers right in the box, which is a huge improvement over the NES Classic. Every game allows 4 save states, so you can freeze your progress at any time and return later. There's also a new rewind feature which shows you about a minute of your own gameplay right before the moment you saved. I can see this coming in handy when returning to a game's storyline after a long time away from it to remember what the heck you were doing. Just like the NES Classic, there are 3 display modes which include a CRT filter, which makes your screen look like an old-timey tube TV. I'm personally a big fan of it. Thank you, Nintendo, for not providing a stretched aspect ratio, because that is for barbarians. The console itself is expectedly adorable. It's very lightweight, which is no surprise because most of these games could probably run on my toaster. What's really great here is that the controllers feel identical to the originals. The size and weight are just right. They don't feel cheap at all, and that's a huge part of the nostalgic experience, and I'm really glad Nintendo did it justice. What is still a problem is cable length. The NES Classic cables were comically short. These are a little better, but they still don't reach from my TV console to my couch very comfortably. It's also a little fidgety to actually plug the controllers in. You have to remove the faceplate on the front of the console to find the ports, and I had to manhandle it a little bit. I understand why this is the case. The SNES would look a little weird without those original analog ports on the front, so hiding the real ones does make design sense. Pop in your power and your standard HDMI cable and you're ready to roll. Nintendo makes great software UI, and this is no exception. It's cute, it's easy to navigate, and you can jump right into your favorite game right away. I also really enjoy the menu music. The games are emulated flawlessly, and the controller response is everything you want. It still bugs me that I have to actually stand up and touch the physical reset button in order to exit a game or save my progress, but I get it. There are literally no additional buttons on this controller to activate those features, so it's a trade-off. I'm glad that Nintendo chose faithful design. There are 21 games on the SNES Classic, most of which are the crown jewels of the 16-bit era. Super Mario World started it all. A Link to the Past brought Zelda back to its roots. Super Metroid set a new standard for its own genre. Street Fighter II is the baseline for all modern fighting games. Star Fox was our first taste of true 3D on a console. Earthbound tossed everything we thought we knew about RPGs out the window. Contra 3 is still hard. And Final Fantasy III, properly known as Final Fantasy VI, is still my favorite JRPG of all time. This console also includes Star Fox 2, which was cancelled in 1995 right before its release because Nintendo had its eye on launching the N64 the following year. This is the first time Star Fox 2 has officially been released, which is pretty cool. But there is one glaring omission from this roster which is killing me. Where is Chrono Trigger? This console has an all-star 90s cast, but leaves out the greatest video game of its time. That's like bringing back Full House without the Olsen twins. And yes, I do feel like that analogy holds up. But here's my deeper concern with these classic mini consoles. I want to play my favorite games from the 80s and 90s, but not like this. It's 2017. We live in a mobile-first, cross-platform, cloud delivery world. When I purchase a game on Steam, I know that I can play it on any computer I own, I can stream it to any television in my house, and I'll be able to access it on any computer I buy in the future. I feel confident that I'll be able to play my PC games 10 years from now. I don't have that same confidence with Nintendo. The Classic Mini is a brick with 21 games that you can never update or expand. And when HDMI cables are obsolete and I want to play Kirby's Dream Course on my augmented reality holo goggles in 10 years, I'm gonna have to buy it again. I adore Nintendo's back catalog and I'm willing to pay for it, but I'm tired of buying hardware and I'm running out of HDMI ports on my TV. The Switch is getting some sort of cloud gaming service that gives you access to older titles for 20 bucks a year. That sounds great, but it may not include everything you want. You don't actually own the games, and will you still have access to it when the Switch is obsolete? Bottom line is, if you just want a box that plays awesome old video games, then the SNES Classic is an adorable $80 miracle. But if you're hoping for a more sophisticated way to enjoy retro games in the modern age, I would wait and see what Nintendo comes up with in the next couple of years. For now, if you're craving that retro fix on the go, check out our guide to playing every old school video game right on your phone. We'll link to that in the description and comments of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and no matter how you get your game on, we hope you're always playing with power. I mean electricity, you have to plug all these devices into an outlet.